So today I want to talk about a true crime story that has always chapped my ass. The case of poor little 2-year-old Caylee Marie Anthony and her mother, who in my opinion is a monster, Miss Casey Anthony. Yes, Casey Anthony. I don't even know where to begin with this. So I kind of got the idea to do this video from just, reading fan theories. I may even do a series. You guys just let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like for me to do as a series on Caylee and Casey. But also, if you guys remember, a while back, Casey was on TikTok. And you all best believe that I was in her comment section trolling the absolute fuck out of her. So I guess we'll just begin this with Caylee's story. So back in 2008, 2-year-old Caylee Anthony went missing. And her narcissistic, compulsive lie after another mother was acting pretty strange. Casey was acting as if it wasn't even really a big deal that her 2-year-old was missing. Eventually, the police and the media did get involved. And let me tell y'all, Casey took these investigators on a wild goose chase like you would not believe. Come to find out, the last time that anyone had actually seen Caylee, aside from her mother, Casey, was like a month prior to her being reported as missing. And during that time, Casey would tell her boyfriend and her parents that Caylee was with a nanny. I'm sure you guys all remember the infamous Zany the nanny. According to Casey, she had allowed Zany the nanny to babysit Caylee, and now Zany was withholding Caylee from her. But it didn't take investigators long to find out that Zany the nanny actually had never existed. See, Casey had give investigators the name of an actual person, Zenaida Gonzalez. And when investigators went to fact check Casey's story, they found out that Zenaida Gonzalez didn't even know Casey. Around this time, Casey's car was also abandoned in a parking lot, and it was eventually impounded. And when Casey's parents got her vehicle back, they said that it smelled absolutely terrible. Cindy even later said that it actually smelled like there had been a dead body in the vehicle. But she goes out and she's cleaning up Casey's vehicle for her, and she opens the trunk and she finds this big bag of things. And she claims that she never actually looked inside of the bag, but that she did throw it away because she believed that that's where the foul odor was coming from. Like I said, she claims she never looked in the bag, but I don't know. I think I would have looked. Would have you looked? So some things happen, and eventually the police end up searching Casey's car. And you know what they found? Inside of the trunk, they found traces of human decomposition. Like, for example, some of the things they found was a strand of Caylee's hair, and inside of the trunk there was also a stain that was almost shaped like a small body. 5 months after Caylee disappeared, her remains were found. They were found around a mile away from the Anthony home, alongside of the road, and just the way they were found was so sad. And then Miss Casey was charged with first-degree murder, child neglect, obstruction of justice, and filing a false report. And I know that you guys have to remember watching this trial. It was absolutely insane. It became extremely high profile. It was televised. Everybody was watching it, and everybody came together as a unit to voice that in their hearts they felt like Casey was guilty. Casey then hired this scumbag, Jose Baez, whose whole court strategy was based off of confusion and chaos. Throughout this trial, he did nothing but try to distract the jury with wild theories. But I think one of the saddest was when her team actually started pointing the finger towards Casey's dad, George. They did everything and said everything they could to try to shift the blame and the focus onto George Anthony. Casey's team suggested that day, George had actually found Caylee drowned in the family swimming pool, and that he got rid of her, just like he used to get rid of the family pets, whatever that means. And during this trial, Casey took the stand and said that it was her dad, George, that taught her to be such a liar. She stated that her dad and her brother had essayed her when she was young and that they made her keep it a secret. Well, this statement was new news to the whole family, especially to George and the brother, because they claim that that is not true. A lot of theories were tossed around during this trial. Another one was the possibility of chloroform being used. They suggested that Casey had maybe accidentally unalived Caylee with chloroform that she was using to try to keep Caylee asleep with so that she could go out and party. But you know what? Even if that theory is true about the chloroform, wouldn't that still make Casey a murderer? Because normal people aren't just out here chloroforming their kids so they can go out. Like, that's a hell of an accident. And then, unfortunately, somehow, some freaking way, Casey was eventually found not guilty of first-degree murder. But she was found guilty of some of the lesser charges, such as child neglect, obstruction, and the police report. She was then sentenced to a year in the county jail, but where she had already spent 3 years waiting on her trial, she got time served and was out of jail within 2 weeks. And it still absolutely blows my mind that she was found not guilty, because that poor little baby, Caylee, she never, to this day, she's still not received justice. And she's not going to, because the person who done this to her got away with it. Now, after Casey was released from jail, she did file for bankruptcy. And rumor has it, and like I said, this is just a rumor, that because Casey was broke, she actually paid her attorney with sexual favors. Yeah, but that's just a rumor, so keep it between us. And then the woman who was accused of being the babysitter, the Zany the Nanny, accused of taking Caylee and withholding her from Casey in the beginning, Zenaida Gonzalez, she did eventually sue Casey for defamation, but somehow that lawsuit got dismissed. After being released, Casey started doing photography, and she voiced that she wanted to become a PI, a private investigator, and that she had thoughts on, starting a book, writing a book. To my knowledge, she still to this day has not released a book, but as of 2022, she did do like a little mini docuseries thing, and I don't know, I didn't watch it either because I didn't want to let Casey Anthony get my one view. But guys, it just makes me sick to think that nothing ever came of this and that this poor little girl never received the justice that she deserved. It's absolutely heartbreaking. You guys be sure to comment below and let me know if you all want a part 2, because I'm telling you guys, I can go on about this case for days. There's so much more information. Like, this case was insane.